Hey peeps, it's your girl K-Cee Diva here. I am so excited to be here once again for another edition of Dish with Diva. I'm K-Cee Diva, and I bring you this show every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Right here on Facebook Live, also on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and to like and all that jazz. And if you want to comment during the show, shoot a comment and we'll do our best to get you your comments or question answered. Um, I'm very excited about the show tonight. I can't even tell you. I have been trying to get this guy on for the longest time, and we finally made it happen. And if you're already watching, you probably recognize him, but I got to do the proper introduction. So first off, before we get into that, real quick shout out. Hey, mom and dad, watching for the first time. Hey, baby bro, thank you for my theme music. You'll hear that at the end. And got to give a shout out to my guy, Nasty Ness, DJ Nasty Ness, as you know him. He's tuning in tonight. I met him when I was at Rainier Avenue. So always a big supporter, and I really appreciate that as well. Okay, so let's jump on in. If you're just tuning in, Dish with Diva. This is where we have real conversations, one-on-one, up close and personal interviews with some of the most talented and hottest in recording artists and musicians, actors, everyone in entertainment. We talk to them right here. All right, so my guest today, uh, man, you're in for a treat. This guy is a serious legend in the 206, my hometown, Seattle, Washington. I got to go down the long list. He, along with others like Sir Mix-a-Lot, DJ Nasty Ness, have put Seattle on the map when it comes to hip hop. 5 CDs during a solo career, over 1 million units sold. Um, Long list of accomplishments since then. Artist, producer, actor, public speaker, author, husband, father. The list goes on and on. And he's here joining me tonight to talk about his brand new project, presently, past, the future. Mr. Cola, or as you might know him as well, Kid Sensation. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Woo, what's good? What's good, Casey? Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So, man, oh man, I catch you from time to time, and it's just really cool what you
Yeah.
do, and I love it. And I'm
Oh,
excited
thank
to
you.
dive in with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just to give people a little history, I always like to talk about how I meet people. I actually first met you, I think about a year and a half ago in Tacoma. You stopped by when I was with Rainier Avenue Radio. Shout out to Tony B, KZ, all my friends over there. We were there covering the high school basketball championship tournaments. And you popped in and said hello. And it was like, wow, hey, Kid Sensation, like came over. Of course, Tony B knows everybody anyway. So it's like, I shouldn't have been surprised,
Facts.
but it was good to see you and meet you then. You were so nice and so cool. I hit you up and said, hey, I'd love to get you on my show. And we finally made it happen. So I'm very excited right now to have you on. So now, first off, before we get into kind of some history and all your work and
Thank you.
accomplishments, how are you and your family doing in this crazy 2020 that we have right now, with the pandemic and the elections and everything? Is everybody good? Everybody doing okay?
We are well. We are well and healthy. And just by the way, I hope you can see me. It's a little bit glitchy, but come on, this is 2020,
I
so
can
we'll just
see
cope
you.
with it and roll with it.
Yes, absolutely.
Good,
I can
good,
see you
good.
just fine.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Hopefully everybody can hear me well. But yeah, man, we've been okay. Obviously, our heart is, we've had so much loss during this year. It's just been a crazy year, and I'm sure you
Yeah.
probably heard about Tiny Zeus Lister, from Friday. Like, my gosh, we just talked about Friday
Yes.
today, and like, man,
Yes.
it's crazy. 2020 has just been a gut punch, man, I think for everybody.
Yeah.
But our family, otherwise we're healthy, we're safe. we're well, man. But just so many people going through it this year, man. And so prayers to
Yeah.
all the families and people and
Yeah.
COVID and these crazy, times with a lot of the division, and it's just a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
And but as a black man, I feel just blessed to be alive.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. It and the timing of your new project couldn't be better. People, we need some feel good music. We need to dance again. We need to laugh again. We need to, try to find those moments in all the chaos. And music does that. That saying music is good for the soul. I've always thought that. It always has been for me. And so excited to have you have this new project out. Just a quick comment here. Hey, Anthony Adams, one of my co-hosts at another show I do called Urban World Talk, says 2020 is the sequel to 2016. Yeah, 2016 was kind
Anthony,
of
my guy,
crazy
was
too.
good.
All right. So, let's go way back. Let's go way back. Let's talk about how you even got into music and the hip hop game. You, from what I read, you joined Sir Mix-a-Lot's camp. You were really young.
Super young. Yeah, I lived across the street from Rainier Beach High School in the Lakeshore Village back in the day.
Oh
And
yeah.
everybody that's from Seattle knows about the Lakeshore Village if you're
Uh-huh.
around in the 80s and whatnot. And that's where I grew up. And I met Sir Mix-a-Lot there. He lived there too, man. And he used to make mixtapes. And when I say mixtape, I mean like actual cassette tapes when he put a lot of music on them. And so I was one of his loyal customers, man. I loved music. And I know
Nice.
that he had little beat machines and little stuff in his room. So I used to kind of try to go over by his house and just hang out and just be around him and be around the music. And
Mhm.
before I know it, I was like, man, can I beatbox? Can I carry some speakers? Can I do something, man? Let me dance. Let me do anything. I just would do anything to be around the music. So I started kind of being
Uh,
like a roadie slash beatboxer slash do whatever it is that he asked me to do to be around
mhm.
the music. So that's how I got with Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. And one of the things that I loved and admired about then, the 90s, 90s era. 90s was, when it came to hip hop, it was kind of the gangster rap era, and they talked about, drugs and killing and all these things. But you guys brought us, these beats that you could just jam to, and positive messages, and fun, fun music that we could dance to. And um you know was it hard at all, or did you have any hesitation back then, like how you'd be received? And or what seemed popular at the time was the whole gangster era, but you guys were coming with something totally different, and fresh, and new.
That was kind of what we always were about when we were in that era, was just about who we were. So I
Hmm.
didn't know gangster. I didn't know all of that kind of thing. That wasn't who I was. So I just made music that was just kind of true to who I was and true to what I knew. I mean, I knew about cars. I knew about music and having a good, just the kind of music I made. I made it from.
Hmm. You kind of Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's cutting out a little bit, but I'm still
Yeah.
with you. But it's like, but
Okay.
we gonna roll with it. We
Okay,
gonna roll with it.
we're
I'm
gonna work
okay.
through it. We're gonna work through it. But and speaking of that, I mean, I think one of the if there's a positive from this whole pandemic experience, is it's forced us to be creative, right? It's forced us to find different ways to communicate, to get our messages and our music and our shows and things out there,
Yeah.
and even, new audiences. I mean, back in the 90s, we didn't have all this,
Hmm.
the social media, the video platforms, and, streaming platforms and things like that. So I'm really excited about, these new ways of really kind of getting out there and communicating.
Yeah.
So okay, so now
A lot of people see
you,
opposition and I see opportunity. I mean, it's crazy. I've had one of my best years in 2020
yeah,
business wise, even though it's been a struggle personal wise and all the stuff going on,
yeah.
but it's been a good year.
Good, good. That's awesome. Yeah, and I've heard that from other artists too, and a few other folks I've had on the show, same thing that, you know what, this actually has been a really cool year. It's kind of pushed the envelope and made them be a little more creative and, opened up new doors,
Facts.
So I think it's
And
awesome.
we've
I
had to
think it's
switch to a
awesome.
lot of things to digital and stuff, you know?
Yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely. So now you Sir Mix-a-Lot camp, then you went on to do some solo work, and you had 5 CDs. And as I mentioned in the beginning, for those who just might be tuning in now, um, over 1 million units sold. So how old were you at that time when you put out your first CD?
17 when my first CD came out, and it was a trip because not
17.
that many guys was doing it real young at that point in time.
Right. Bear with us, folks. We're it's a little, hey, we're it's a little glitchy, but we'll get this.
Yeah, we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
Okay. All right, there you are. All right. So yeah, 17, I mean that's young. I mean to be, as successful and of course then, with the success, right, comes you got the fame and the money and the parties and the women and all this and you're 17. How did you handle that? How did any lessons learned maybe or crazy stories you remember that you want to share? What was that like at 17 to just be on top of your career already?
Yeah, well, I first hit the road with Sir Mix-a-Lot when I was 14, believe it or not. My first time traveling with him, I was very, very young. And so I grew up literally in the business and traveling and, being on the Straight Outta Compton tours, with NWA and guys like this and
Wow.
Public Enemy and all these groups. I was on these undercard, a lot of these dudes. So I saw a lot of stuff that probably at 14 I shouldn't have been seeing 15, 16 years old. And, but and then, without having a father and without I grew up
Mhm.
without a father. And so, not having that guidance and that kind of thing around, it just you go from being poor and being from the projects and all that, and then they thrust you onto a stage and then they thrust a bunch of money at you and all these things, like you said, the women, the cars, the lifestyle comes at you so fast.
Mhm.
It was really a trip, man. It was a
Yeah.
definite growth period, and I had to do it in the player where I could have my bumps and bruises and figure them out while the whole world was watching.
Wow. Yeah, and I think that's important. What you just said is that we, meaning the regular people out here that are watching, we tend to be critical of people that are in the business, and they don't, we don't realize, like, especially like yourself, you're 14 on the road, all this stuff coming at you, you're super young, we don't realize that it's not as, it might be fun and you have your high moments and things like that, but there's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, that comes along with all the fame and everything else, so being able to, or figuring out how to navigate that and how to handle that, at a young age, like you said, with the whole world watching, is definitely not an easy feat. I'm gonna go to a comment here. Anthony says, if you could remake Posse on Broadway in 2020, what would it sound like, and what would you talk about?
That's a dope question. And I can
I
actually
love
tell you what it
that.
would sound like because on my new project, Presently Past the Future, there's a song called Just Another Day in the City with me, Sir Mix-a-Lot, and the whole crew. And if you want to know what 2020 Posse on Broadway sounds like, that's the song to listen to. Just Another Day in the
Yes,
City.
yes, absolutely, yes, yes, yes. I listened to the whole project. I told you this earlier. Like I've been dancing to Feeling Myself. That one, and we'll talk about that a little more in detail. My two favorites right now, like as I listen to it, is "Feeling Myself" and "West Side." Those are my two favorites right now.
West Side is a burner. That's going,
West Side
and
is
we plan on
bomb.
dropping that as a single.
Yes, I mean the whole thing. You can't miss. I mean, you guys got to check it out. We'll give all the platforms and where you can catch it out. Towards the end of the show. But I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. But we'll get to that. Okay, so let's talk about as we kind of move towards your new project now and such. I would love to get your take on hip hop today, right, in 2020. Needless to say, I mean it's changed a lot. I don't want to sound like old lady curmudgeon, but I'm sorry, I don't hear the depth, I don't hear the beats and the mixes, and that was, to me, that was true hip hop. You got the scratches and all of that came with the music that you and Sir Mix-a-Lot and the whole crew did. What are your thoughts on today's music? In general, do you have any favorites now? Any hip hop artists that you like?
Well, yeah, first of all, I like a ton of the young artists that are out right now. And I have a whole lot of respect for what they do. And I try not to be the old guy on his porch yelling, "Tell these kids get off my lawn." You know what I'm saying? In terms of the new
Right.
cats, I like to make room for their new art. And yes, I know 5 songs repeated over and over. I mean, sorry, 5 words repeated over and over under auto tune does not make a song to us, right? But
Right.
I still make respect and room for those young cats
Mhm.
because the cats that came before us was like, man, y'all come on, cut it out, all
Mhm.
that noise and that and the other. But yet they made room for us to make our music the way that we needed to. So, and plus, yeah, like I said, I like a lot of the young hip hop, especially when
Mhm.
some of it takes me somewhere, especially the J.
Mhm.
Cole's and cats like that. I really enjoy what they're doing now, but I also think that there's an appreciation that a lot of people that's from our demographic that say, man, I really love that hip hop from the 90s and 2000s that really
Yeah.
spoke to me and really gave me super bars and lyrics and scratching and all the
Mhm.
elements of hip
Mhm.
hop. And that was the whole point behind making this Presently Past the Future CD. Like if you go back and listen to like songs like Stank Face and I Got Funk Daddy scratching, and I mean scratching like they did back in the day, and I
Yeah.
have songs like West Side that take you back to
Uh-huh.
that 90s and that G funk and all that fun. And
Yeah.
then, but then I got songs like Feeling Myself that kind of bring it with a little. So I call it like a throwback album with a
Mhm.
little 2020 twist. And I think that's
Yeah.
the perfect spot that us artists from the past got to land in. And that is
Mhm.
respect what they do now, but then also show them that, hey, young fellas, we got a little something to say and we got something that's relevant and that adds value because we are the ones that laid the ground for y'all.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You said it perfectly. So let's talk about, so presently past the future. Um, how did you come up with the title?
Well, it was just as simple as what we were just discussing. It was that,
Mhm.
we are in the present. We have to live in the present. Us old artists can't be going back and trying to drag everybody back to '99 in the good old days, man. We have to realize we are in 2020, man, and we got to stay relevant. We got to stay fresh. We got to be with what's happening at this point in time. But
Yeah.
also, we got to respect what the past, right? If we don't really acknowledge and respect the building
Mhm.
blocks and the foundation, man, we losing a lot of culture, we losing a lot of sound,
Yes.
we losing a lot of really what the essence of what hip hop is. And
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
of course the future, man, we're pointing towards the future. We're trying to lead young cats into the future and say, yo, man, now that you guys, since we've passed y'all the baton, now y'all got to take it and run to the future, and y'all got to take the audience somewhere. Don't leave them, man. Come on, y'all, take them somewhere and take this
Yes.
music somewhere and make it great. So that was the whole premise behind this album, is just kind of setting that precedent of saying we can
Mhm.
respect the past, we can also acknowledge we're in the present, and then we can push towards the future.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what it does. So as people hear this, like myself, quick story. So I went to school in the Midwest, college in the Midwest, and I'll never forget, I was in our gymnasium, we had our parties and such. And, you know, freshman year was a little rough for me. I mean, I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm in the Midwest. You know, there's kids from all over the East Coast and, you know, the South and such. And they're, you know, they're kind of looking at me funny because it's like, you talk a little proper and, oh, there's Black people in Seattle. I heard that all the time. And I'm at this party and they put on Square Dance Rap. And then they put on My Posse's on Broadway. And for me, I was just like, whoa, it's like a piece of home, right? And I kid you not. I mean, when I say they flooded the dance floor and were just going buck wild, and I have people coming up to me like, "Hey, you're from Seattle? You ever see those guys? You know where Broadway is? You've been on Broadway, you know?" Of course, I'm like, I'm feeling cool now, like, oh yeah, you know. But it just shows, you know, it's just a testament how you guys like just really put Seattle on the map in so many different, you know, places. And you know, so I'm just excited about this new project. Hold on real quick. I want to get to a couple comments. Let's see. Anthony says J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Big Sean, and even Drake are the best rappers of today's era.
Man, that's so much truth, Anthony. So much truth. Oh my gosh, all them dudes is fire, man.
I think he hit them all. Let's see. Oh, Marquis. Hey, Marquis. He says, my fam. Marquis beat that track, McDaniel.
My God, was good, Marquis.
He says, love us. Hey, Marquis. Thanks for joining us today.
Straight talent, man. Straight talent.
Yes, absolutely. So I actually went to college, speaking of college, with Marquis' dad, John McDaniel, you know, rest his soul, just like a brother to me. One of the first people that I met on campus, and that ironically was from Seattle. So being so far from home and meeting him was awesome. So let's talk about the video for Feeling Myself, because as we talked a little bit earlier about the pandemic and changing things up and doing things in a different way. When I saw that video, I thought, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I'm gonna let you tell people, you know, what it's about and how it came together.
So funny is, you know, with the Feeling Myself thing, it was just kind of like that. Like a lot of people think that song Feeling Myself, when they hear it, they don't really understand that there's actually an underlying message in that song. And that song is really a song about self-esteem, self-love, and self-confidence. It's not about just me, oh yeah, I'm feeling myself and all that. It's more like, hey, there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna ear and tell you what you're not. Oh, you ain't this or you ain't that, or you're not enough of this. And you know, and it's like you gotta feel yourself, man. I mean, it's only one of you, and they ain't gonna make another one. They made K-Cee Diva, and then God broke the mold and said there will be no other. You are one in a billion, trillion, and there'll never be another one like you. And there never was one before. So it's like, love yourself, feel yourself. And that's what the premise of the song was about. And then if you notice, if you watch the video, and you guys, when you see the video, if you've seen it before, go back and watch it from this different lens. The video, if you notice, there's nobody looking all good and nobody. You see people in their pajamas, people kicking it around the house, people just, you know, whatever, just doing their thing, having fun. Nobody's dressed up. It's just be yourself, feel yourself, and do your thing. And that was the whole premise behind the song. I didn't care. I took submissions from everybody. I don't care if you was tall, skinny, short, fat, big head. Don't matter. One leg was longer than the other. Just be in the video, have some fun, you know, and show who you are and love yourself for who you are. And that was the whole point behind the video and behind the song, is love yourself and just feel yourself. And we needed it, right? During the pandemic. I mean, so much, you know, was going on. And I mean, we needed to come out, like you said, have some fun and do our thing. And so I took a whole bunch of video submissions. If you notice, it's all kind of patchwork put together with different people. They shot it on their iPhones. That video was shot on all sorts of phones and submissions, but it was a bunch of fun putting it together.
You saw, you know, there's families and babies and all different races and, like you said, sizes and genders. It's just an amazing video. And speaking of which, okay, your first line. Now, everybody out there that knows me personally knows I am a huge Michael Jackson fan. So the first line of that song, you know, where you say, you know, bad in a good way, you know, reference MJ, I was already hooked when I heard the music. I'm like, hey, yeah, this is fun. And I heard that first line, and I was like, ah! I had to rewind to hear that again.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
I just
yeah.
think
I'm a big
it's just
MJ
cool.
fan too. So yeah,
Yes,
I couldn't
yes.
help myself, man. And I love that. And Ralph pointed at the little Michael Jackson move, and oh my gosh, I was like, man,
Yeah.
this was perfect. I love it.
The video is amazing. You guys definitely have to check it out. I also want to just
Thank you.
touch on because you've done a lot of public speaking as well. I
Hmm.
caught a couple of your TED talks. I saw one where your son was on stage with you, which was adorable. How did you get into the public speaking? Because you're amazing. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, you have your flow with the music, but to hear the messages that you had in the talks that I watched, you really know how to speak to people.
Thank you.
How did you end up in that?
It started, I guess, like talking to like schools and doing things like that. I kind of, when people say, hey, could you come and talk to this or come to this youth group or come talk to these people or whatever. So okay, sure, absolutely. Why not? If it's someone wants to hear something I can say and I can add some value to some people, cool, let's do it.
Mhm.
And it just began to be one thing after the other. And what's really crazy is that kind of has inspired me for doing the TED Talks and doing talks in front of people and talking to young
Mhm.
people. And I've gone to the juvenile hall and talked to the people there. And I've gone to schools and then I've talked to big groups and whatever like that. And the bottom,
Mhm.
anywhere that I feel like I can add some value to people and do that, I share in that space and I share my experiences or whatever it is. And it led to me writing a book, as a matter of fact. And so I have a book called Kings, Young People Discovering Their Purpose and Shaping Their Destiny. And it's all about writing a book to young people and showing them who they are and showing these young men that if they just realize that they are kings and they are not thugs and punks and all the other things that they might think that they
Yes.
are, it's like figure out who you are and label yourself as who you are, and then you can behave and act and become who you really are destined to be. But that is all just a byproduct of me wanting to add value to, I don't know, it's just my way of really just connecting and communicating. I
Mhm.
love my music. I love what I do with it. But speaking to people, man, it's just a
Well, you're great. You're great at it. Absolutely, a natural. I'm gonna get to some comments here.
thank you.
Grand Mixer. Kid Sensation is a legend, and I'm so glad he made a new record. Yes, we all are.
GMS, thank you, boss. I appreciate you. Love and respect, my guy.
Marquis says Cola, aka Kid Sensation, is Seattle legend, one of my faves. Absolutely,
Man,
Marquis.
thank you, my guy. You are a legend in the making right now, my dude. I see it all over you.
Anthony says respect, and Anthony also says MJ
Yeah.
all day, every day. Yes, Anthony's a good friend of mine, and we MJ. You know. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of our time, but as I do with all my musical guests, I ask them if they might want to do a little something for us. Any song you would like, any bars you'd like to share with us, this is your time to do that.
Well, listen, I'm a MC and I'm a real MC. So if any real MC is ever asked to spit, he better come and spit, man. He better not pass that opportunity
I
up.
love
So
it.
check it. Secure the perimeter, evacuate the area. A beast is on the loose and nothing else is scarier. Mixed with some lion bear and pit bull terrier. One false move and I'm sure to quickly bury you. What you think you're trying to accomplish, starting up a scene. I'll leave you with a crumpled heap with a ruptured spleen. I'm ruthless on this microphone. No, this ain't no jokey joke. Your mouth still running. Oh no, don't provoke me, low. XOLA, a microphone savage. Understand what you dealing with. I'm far from average. Sicker than a COVID patient if he's swine flu. Caution when I'm false and don't approach her, I'm inclined to tear your limbs off. I'm a beast on the mic, man. Fracture your chest, play your fall when I strike in. Coming out the sky, I'm a rhyming bolt of lightning, like God's angel with a mic in my right hand. Yeah, here come the trauma. Call the police, call your friends, call Obama and your mama. Hot like a sauna, I'ma make these streets. I'ma bake these streets like a cake, then eat. I'm a beast.
Yes. That was fire. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for doing that.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Oh
All right,
my
let's see.
goodness. Thank you for asking.
Ellie, Eleanor says, I love Kid Sensation. Yes, we all do, Eleanor.
And I love you
All
back.
right. Well, let's tell the folks where they can get this new project.
So go to kidsensation.com and listen to the new album. You can hear the whole new album there, and you can hear it all even without buying it. I just want to make sure people hear the music. Absolutely, download it, share it, buy it. You can also catch me on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. It's in all those good places. But please, please, please share the music and let people know about it, because for me, I've reached this phase in my life where it's like I'm all past this whole thing of, oh, I need to sell all these CDs and all that.
Mhm.
Selling it will come, the money comes and goes if you take your focus off of it and try to add value to the listeners, add value to the people. Go and listen to that Presently Past the Future album, and it will take you on a journey. There's
Yes.
a song called I Bet You Won't, where I talk about the abusive
Yes.
relationship that my mother was in. There's songs where I
Mhm.
call Change the World, where I talk about what we're dealing with right now. There's songs like Feeling
Mhm.
Myself, where you get picked up, and West Side, where we tribute to the West Coast and let people know what's going on. I mean, it's just so many great songs on the CD. Go to kidsensation.com or to Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your music. Check it out. Spread the word. Spread the love.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Oh man, we're gonna have you back. This was so much fun, and the time just flies by. I again just feel so honored to have you on. You are seriously a legend. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep speaking. Keep doing the books. Keep the music coming because, like I said in the beginning, we need it. We need it now more than ever. So we're definitely going to have you back on. We'll check in a few months and see how everything's going.
I'm always honored to be here. Thank you. And you guys keep up with Dish with Diva and keep up with K-Cee, you guys, because what she's doing is cool. She's bringing you guys amazing guests and
Oh,
fun, and
thank
she's an
you.
amazing, sparkling personality. It's so good to hang out with you virtually today. And you guys, please tune back in every week when she does what she does, because she is just awesome and amazing at it. And oh, I would be wrong if I didn't shout out my hot little piece of wifey meat. Liberty, I love you, baby. And to my kids, I love
Yes.
y'all. And man, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, wait, couple comments. I can't leave without these. We got somebody with some emojis there, obviously.
Adrian,
Liking. Yeah. Let's see, who else? Got some hearts there.
sending love,
All
Diana.
right.
Man,
All
God
right,
bless
Pete.
you, sis. You are just amazing. I appreciate you. And God bless all your listeners.
Thank
Appreciate
you
y'all.
so much. That means so much. I appreciate you as well. We'll definitely get you back on. You're an amazing guest. All right, peeps. Now hit me up anytime. We're gonna put this on my feed if you want to watch it again, or if you want to share it out, please do. I'll be doing some watch parties a little bit later on as well, and throughout the week. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. K-Cee Deeva Shows. All my shows each week are posted there. It streams live. I also do another show called Northwest Nightcap with K-Cee Deeva. That airs once a month, every first Thursday at 8 p.m. And that's where we recap all the fun entertainment news and current events happen throughout the month. We got so much craziness going on. We're like, we gotta catch people up on this stuff. So,
Yeah.
my friend Anthony Adams, who you saw commenting, Princess Robin, my homegirl, her hubby, K-Cee, Kurt Clayton from Confunction. He joins us once a month as
Ooh.
well. We have a good time, so be sure to look out for that show. And I'll be here next week, same time, same place. My guest next week on the 17th, 7:30 is the one, the only Miss Lady A, another local sensation here in Seattle. We're going to chit chat with her. We're going to catch up with her. I'm excited to talk to her as well. So hit me up on all my social media, Twitter at K-Cee Deeva Shows, right here on Facebook, IG, I'm MZ K-Cee Deeva, all the stuff. And I'm going to leave you with our outro here. All right. We'll see you later, peeps.
Nice. I'm going to subscribe to YouTube.